All right, folks, we're back. We're in the lobby for Stats versus Scarlett. They're both ready, so let's not delay it. Let's just hop into the game. Once again, people are asking, where is Zombie Grub? I know that this is not Zombie Grub with me today. It's pretty obvious. It's Zeph. She's a pretty fantastic person. Fun fact you guys might not know about these two is they actually, Zeph and Zombie Grub have cast before. They may have been like one of the first duo cast girls StarCraft crew or whatever you want to call it, but they also got me in a ton of trouble because back in the day, we used to cast something called the Zotac Cup. And for fun, I tried to make the title of the stream, like, I was going for alliteration, so it's like the Lovely Ladies cast. And they're like, why don't we call this Two Girls, One Zotac Cup? So I, of course, then for 2 weeks afterwards got blamed for the name, even though it was their suggestion. Cheeky bugger.
Oh,
So,
no regrets.
yeah, Zeph is an old school caster from back in the day. Zombie Grub is cast in Nation Wars. If you guys do want some Zombie Grub action, you can go find her over on that stream. But getting into a qualifying match in a brand new series. In the bottom left, we got the Red Protoss Stats.
And in the bottom right, we've seen a lot of 2-0s from her today. This is Scarlett.
Yeah. And just to finish up on that last point, guys, like we tried to make this as clear as possible, and I know not everybody got to see it, but of course Zombie Grub got flown out to Paris. Sad face Rifkin didn't, but that's okay because we still want to support her best we can. So make sure you guys follow her on Twitter and make sure to catch all the action because she'll be gone from the channel for about like 10 to 15 days or something like that while she's in Paris. But luckily, with people like Zeph and Pig filling in from time to time, we still can keep bringing you some great StarCraft 2. Also, we haven't advertised it all today. I would like to quickly remind everybody we have a giveaway. It's going to close in 3 days from now. So ! Giveaway in chat if you want a chance to enter. We'll be updating the prize list later today with more Corsair gear. But basically, if you win that giveaway and 3 people will win, you get a guaranteed Ting shirt in whatever size you are, as well as your choice of any of the prizes off the list. So make sure to enter in while you can.
Do it. Don't not do it. I dare you. It's a good way to end the year.
I dare you. You just went like the worst version of clickbait ever. You're like, I bet you can't enter this. Like, you'll never believe what happens when you enter this content. Straight up BuzzFeed over here with Zeph. Okay, well, Stats ends up doing quite a bit of scouting, and the probe's a bit cheeky, just kind of chilling in the main, but gets a lot of good information out of this. He sees Scarlett's speed start up. He knows that there's no third base, or rather he will in a second if he really wants to check. For us, though, watching the other side of this, and for me especially, it's like, how is Scarlett going to deal with Stats? And I'm assuming for a moment here, Stats is going to do what every Protoss player is doing at the moment, where you go for the expansion, you get this Robo, you get the Dark Shrine, you do the DTs, you do the Archons. It's like step 1, step 2 of Protoss, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sort of keen to see how this goes, because Stats hasn't had the smoothest run against Zergs lately. Scarlett actually beat him in Shoutcraft Kings.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she had like that.
That
really
was only a best of 1, but like the one map. But you know, it is notable. And he's been sort of going like 3-2s and stuff against other players. So
Scarlett also very meticulously snuck some lings around the north side of the map so they wouldn't have been seen. Unfortunately for her, though, this does get revealed. Now, she's maybe not going to make it through the front door, but she's going to make her own little back door. As the Overlord finishes up, she'll be able to elevator these up and go through. Just runs right on past, though, with that speed. Not a full wall off, going to be a bit of a problem. Robo's on the way. Twilight Council finished up. No chance to start a Dark Shrine, though, if you lose all your probes too early, and Stats is already being run ragged.
Yeah, I mean, how many probes has he lost? He's lost 3 already. There's more links coming in. He can't block this off just yet. The overcharge goes off, but all she has to do is stay away from that pylon for the moment.
But even if she is locked out, and I don't think she's going to be locked out for long, but even if she is, she's still got that Overlord to fall back to. That plan B, if you will. The Adept gets surrounded. This starts getting cleaned up. Scarlett darts into the main, hoping to drive everything out of position for the additional lings to run on in. But I think Stats is going to be unwavered through this. She also scouts the Dark Shrine, so she knows exactly what's coming up behind this. It's going to be that typical follow-up, but she's not going to give him a chance. She's just going to keep hammering this hard.
Yeah, for sure. And she's still got that sneaky little backdoor entrance here, and she's going to start elevating those lings right on in.
There's not enough
Immortal.
Adepts.
Oh no.
Well, even the Immortal's not going to help that much, though. Even with the barrier getting popped this early, the Adepts get surrounded, the Immortal gets surrounded too, going to really suck.
Really. Yeah, unless you can get an overcharge up there or keep it out of harm's way.
That's the key point of this, right? The overcharge would be what shuts this down, but the units out of stats, I mean, he's doing a good job with what he has, and he doesn't have much, but Scarlett just running all over the place. She's getting a little bit flustered too, messing up the Overlord drops. Overcharge and the natural, looking for those probe kills. Hold positions over here for the time being, but more Lings unloading the main and going for that main mineral line.
Yeah, and you know what else? He's going for a DT shrine. Now, Scarlett's seen that as well, so I'm not sure if that's going to be able to do too much, but it depends on whether or not she's paying attention. I mean, it hasn't finished yet. She probably would have clicked on it by this point, though.
She did go really all in with this. I want to emphasize that. And this might have been cleaned up at this point.
Yeah.
GG.
Okay, there we go, GG.
That got a little bit scary for stats, but right at the very end, like, he cleaned up both the drops simultaneously. I think she thought she would always have like one, if not the other, to run around with. So,
yeah,
very nicely handled in a very messy situation out of stats, and that gives him a 1-0, which, going off the trend of today, means he's basically won the series at this point.
Well, Scarlett did give us most of our 2-0s, so maybe she has some tricks up her sleeve just yet. I mean, I thought that was a cool move.
I actually believe more in... Oh, she's going to change the habitation. Okay. I believe more in Scarlett, as funny as it is, than I do in most of the other Koreans playing today. I've got a lot of faith, and not just off those couple of games, but just in general, looking fantastic. So thank you for tweeting, by the way. I retweeted. If you guys aren't on Twitter, make sure you get on Twitter and go retweet Zeph. She's doing a great job updating about all the matches today. But yes, Scarlett's loser's choice was Habitation Station. I believe first time we're seeing this map today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think we've seen it yet. We'll see how this game goes. Like, Scarlett's just been sticking with that theme of aggression starting off there, I guess. It did look good in the early game, but as it went on and stats cleaned it up, she had no tech, no real options there. So better to get into the second game, where I wonder if she's going to try and play it longer or something like that. Because I, being a scrub that I am, would be very scared to go up against stats in a longer game. But that's not to say that she won't try and go for like a more 3-based scenario, because she's obviously doing fantastically at the moment. Stats, I mean, I guess you always have to take him seriously, right? Like, there's never a time that stats is awful at the game.
Right. Both of them saying go, go, go. I think everyone's in here. Yeah, let's make sure I don't leave anybody out. Looks like we're Gucci. Let's hop into game number 2. Now, of course, this is, I still want to emphasize, a qualifying match. So the winner of this qualifies through, but Innovation will play the winner of this for $50 cash prize, which would be a small, nice little consolation.
Yes, indeed. Everyone loves esports money.
Yeah, the big deal, though, is, of course, the main event has a $250 first place prize, $100 second place prize, so everybody's going to be gunning for the big bucks at the end. But winning that first game, currently up 1-0 and holding off against what was a scary all-in the top left side of the map. We got the blue Protoss, the Korean Stats.
And in the top right, the pink Zerg. Once again, this is Scarlett.
Okay, so for this map to be selected, immediately my mind goes back to Heart of the Swarm, and you start saying, like, oh, is that a gold base? Is that why she picked this? What's the deal? But I think, for me, this is another map where I think you can kind of abuse some all-in tactics. I'm not sure if she'll go for it or not. I mean, you're not going to have that same Overlord elevator like you did on that last map, but the other big thing that screams bloody murder, I'd say, would be air control. And if Scarlett wants to do something like Mutiz, there's a ton of dead space on this map.
Yeah, similarly, I mean, it's even a nice map for air toss. I mean, it's not really a thing at the moment. You'll see some air units mixed in from time to time, but back when this map was in its prime, there were a lot of turtly sort of air toss games on it. So it's definitely good in the sky for either player here.
Actually, that's a great point, because I was thinking mostly on Scarlett because it was her map pick. But you're right, another problem might be if Stats gets to go for that Turtle Protoss. You get to carriers right now, and you basically have won the game, is what it feels like in a lot of situations. But Scarlett has been doing a lot of really good moves that I feel against that late game play. It also might be a bait, saying like, Stats, please go for that. I'm going to kill you before you get to it. Again, a lot of speculation as to what's going on, but not wasting time with the probe in the natural. Scarlett just jumps right ahead to take her third down here, or I guess natural base down here at the third.
That's the preferable move. Can't be bothered messing around with that little probe, because he knows Stats is going to be as annoying as he possibly can be with that. We got a couple of Lings that can come out in just a second here as well, so she can go straight for that third hatchery in just a moment as well, saving up their minerals. And she's got speed on the way too to give her a bit of map control in just a moment. So, yeah, not too much to know as we get started up here. I mean, Stats pretty much doing the same thing.
Well, I think for me, I really want to see something different, but as expected, Stats is going for the Twilight Council. He's going to have that Robo probably to follow it up. But if he decides to go for Resonating Glaives instead of the Dark Shrine move, that might be a move that could catch Scarlett off guard. If slap down 3 more gateways and suddenly you're attacking with a lot of Adepts. And it is worth noting, Scarlett's got some weak points, and there's some funny jokes to be said about her balance complaints in StarCraft, but she's hated Adepts with like a passion. Like these are seriously one of the units in the game that you can trigger Scarlett with pretty quickly. So yeah, Resonating Glaives is going to kick up, and Stats is going to get down and dirty.
You called it. So yeah, this is I gotta agree, it is awful. I hate Adepts. Oh god, especially once they get Resonating Glaives and there's a bunch of them. It's just hell to deal with. But we'll see how she goes here. She's gonna have speed. Hopefully she can get a scout. I mean, the Overlords are getting into position. She's already got one that's peeked into the natural to see what kind of tech, if any, she can scout. Another one now heading into the main.
So real quick, by the way, I know some of this is troll, but some of it's real, and people are asking, like, how do we get top Koreans to play for $50? The point is, this is a qualifier, guys. There's 2 qualifiers in total leading to that main event. Normally, qualifiers actually offer no cash money whatsoever. You just simply qualify through, and that's the end of the day. We wanted to give these guys just that little bit of extra as a kind of thank you for playing in our event. So that's why we have a $50 first place prize for the qualifier. Plus, it gives us that extra best of 3, which would normally not be played. So it's always nice to get that little bit of extra out of these amazing players playing today.
Yes, indeed. And look at this. The army of Adepts has begun.
Well, the army of Adepts is one thing. It's the double Stargate that follows this up pretty swiftly. I mean, Stats is going to get some decent trades with these Adepts if he does it correctly, but looks like he is preparing for that follow-up. Now, double Stargates immediately, you might be thinking, okay, this is going to head towards carriers. Let's see how Scarlett does. But we've actually been seeing quite frequently a lot of Phoenix come out of these Stargates rather than necessarily turtle up to carriers.
Yeah, it's interesting that this style is still sticking around. I mean, this is the thing to do. When Legacy of the Void first came out, PvZ was very much Adepts and Phoenixes. And I think it's really cool that it's still a thing. At this point, and it was definitely always a thing on this map because you got a lot of mobility, you do a lot of damage, you're a huge pain in the backside for the Zerg. It gives you a lot of vision of what they're doing as well, considering that you can't really stop their scouts. So yeah.
It is worth noting, Scarlett did see the double Stargates with her Overlord. She knows what's going to be going down. And I thought for a moment she might be willing to get really aggressive and go just try and hit Stats with everything before he's ready to go. But instead, she's taking a bad trade in the middle of the map, that's for certain. I'm not sure she was looking at it, but it wasn't the links. But she drones really hard behind this. Like, that was just 10 drones or something in the production tab. 3 bases is great for economy, but having lost those lings, actually, how many just died for free? Like, literally, like 19 lings or something just died for nothing. She no longer really has the ability to run around on the map and necessarily like harass the third, for example. Phoenix is also revealed.
Yeah, we got third base from Stats here. The Adepts poking out on the creep a little bit, seeing if they can do anything. They don't really have to commit to anything. It's just constantly annoying because they shade in, pretend they're going to do something, then they don't. But you know, if you don't chase them, that's when they're going to...
You're a phony. A big phony. All right, so Stats, by the way, is going to take the necessary steps to move towards the follow-up. Now, we'll talk more on that in a moment, should this actually become a problem, because right now the issue still stands. Like, the Adepts haven't really been touched, the Phoenix haven't been retaliated. Scarlett's not killed a single thing this game.
No. But she's looking like she's moving towards that. She's getting more overload. She's pumping out non-stop roaches, getting burrow move as well. She could hit with a huge amount of them. And if you look at what Stats has, Adepts, you know, the amount that he has, what is it, 15? It's not going to kill a huge roach army, especially with burrow in play. And those Phoenixes can only pick up so much. So let's see if this can pack the punch she needs.
That's actually a great point. I didn't even see Burrow and Tunneling Claws in the production tab, but Burrow does finish up. Tunneling Claws is still seconds out. Scarlett will take whatever she can for a trade. This keeps Stats on his toes. Behind it, she's still making more roaches, though. We don't have a Hydrogen coming out. We don't have anything really on deck. Stats is trying to go for carriers right now, but pumping out a Void Ray might be more favorable. Regardless, though, Scarlett is slowly but surely losing these roaches. Stats doesn't have the better army for it, but the Phoenix are almost out of juice, and the Adept number has certainly been quelled.
Yeah, she can get in here, do some damage, maybe even sneak some to the mineral lines and do that multi-prong harass. That'll look really good because she's reached the point where there's not really any Adepts left.
Oh,
the Phoenixes are almost out of energy, and that's where you want to be, but it's taken her a long time.
Yeah, the Burrow actually completely takes Stats out of position too, as he was almost overreacting by responding to the main like this. He loses some probes, the Scarlet takes advantage of the situation, and the army being not here to move into that third with the reinforcing roaches. And Stats is going to lose his Adepts. Not a problem. Second overcharge, not even available. And he's still bleeding out in the main. These roaches have not been dealt with. Scarlet doesn't have anything in the natural, but the main and third have been compromised. Probes are dying like crazy. This went from like 5 probes killed to 30 plus real quick. And the only reason it stopped is because there's none left to kill.
No, this is insane, actually. Like, this is the momentum that she was looking for.
Oh, did she get the pylon snipes to stop the carriers? No, the carrier still comes out.
Yeah, if she snipes all these pylons, like, she's
Stats.
so good. The probes are dancing, he knows it's all over now.
It's our first game 3 of the day!
We did it, team. We got a third game.
This was cool, though. So this was something I was thinking about. I mentioned it at the start of the game. I don't know whether it was on purpose or not, but I thought for a moment, like, that map may have been selected as like bait. Like, Stats, please go for carriers. Please go for a build that I can take a small timing advantage out of. And while that's what's happened, I don't know whether that was planned or not, but it would certainly be super cool out of Scarlett if it was. We are going to go to a small commercial break, though, while we get the third and final game set up. So don't go anywhere, guys. Game 3, Stats versus Scarlett, when we return. And the winner plays Innovation afterwards. All right, folks, I do believe we've timed this out correctly. In fact, there we go. Getting into game just as it kicks off. Things are now tied up 1-1 in the semifinals, a.k.a. the qualifying match. There's some actual banter between the players before we got into the game. Stats just kind of complimenting Scarlett, saying, strong roach, ... good burrow. Could be taken as balance, could be taken as a compliment. I'm going to assume it was a compliment. But she did just tie things up. And spawning down here to the south, it is going to be the pink Zerg player, Scarlett.
And in the north position, this is the red Protoss Stats.
And I am still just enamored. I talked with Zeph briefly during the break. Oh, what?
She what?
Game pause.
She's so pause. Okay, well, we'll talk about this in a second. I was speaking with Zeph during the break, though. I'm really glad so many people are tuning in. Thank you guys so much. 5,000 people is insane. We've been hitting 4K more consistently. It's just nice to see that there's some people still watching StarCraft. But I was tweeting about this actually recently, and for some reason, we've had a lot more Korean viewers on the stream.
Game resumed.
Normally, our statistics show like it's USA, then Germany, then the rest of the world. But Korea has actually taken our number 2 spot a lot more frequently, and I'm excited to see what those stats look like after this cast is said and done. But Scarlett goes for a proxy gold base on her opponent's side of the field. And I gotta ask, do you feel like that pause was an actual genuine pause or part of the strategy?
That's the question, isn't it? Like, 'cause Scarlett's a little bit of a troll when she wants to be. Like, I feel like the pause could almost be for emphasis. Well, but I'm gonna assume it was legit.
I would love if this ended up being something super old school too, like a weird spine crawler rush. Creep gets spread slowly and all this, but this is going to be certainly weird because normally the same problems that present scouting, I think, are presented here in Vane, where you check in the main, you don't necessarily get to go to that natural so easily every time and see whether the actual base is down or not. So if he doesn't get there, he won't know that that something is amiss. The drones are going to get... Oh, is he going to scout the drone transfer? Oh my god, he does. This is huge. This is huge. Even just one blip is a big deal. But seeing 3, did Stats actually see it? He's going to scout the natural and now knows something's up. But this is one of those more unconventional builds where maybe even if he sees it, he doesn't know how to deal with it.
Yeah, because it's not that common anymore. So you kind of see it and you gotta,
This
dig deep in your brain and go, hang on, what was the appropriate reaction for this? I don't even know. So that's often where it can go pear-shaped for their opponent, because they're actually like, you know what, I don't actually remember the proper way to deal with this. So we'll see what happens. We've got 8lings on the way. We've got an Evo coming down as well. That gives her access to the drops. Gives her +1 melee even if she wants.
This is the weirdest proxy. I thought this is definitely not going to be for spine cars anymore, but it will put Queens a lot closer, so you can walk those in that front door maybe. Real quick thank yous to Spike Chi for that Twitch Prime sub, and Osmunos 63 for the 6 months. Yeah, Scarlett's been getting a lot of good results out of these Overlord drops. Stats was the first player to actually shut her down, but what's interesting is the second Overlord means she's actually going to be waltzing one of these through that front door and not just relying on the backup, the back door, I guess. That Queen is so out of place looking, but these are slowlings. They're about to have speed. Full start on this pylon might be nice, but she's going to run right to that mineral line and find nothing defending it. Mothership Core's got to be careful too. This Queen can kill that Mothership Core very easily.
Yeah, that's what she's for, and she's already picking away at that. The probes down here trying to fight, but they're all getting cleaned up. The Adept in danger of going down as well. Scarlett, God, it's like
why is she attacking her own Overlord? She's attacking her own Overlord through this. She's going to kill her own Overlord.
She's like, here, stats. It looks like you need some help.
That's a... Okay, yes, there's that. But that was a big mistake. Not just because it's attacking the Overlord. That's a lot of damage that should have been going to the Mothership Core. This Mothership Core should have been in the yellow by now, and now thusly dead. However, isn't. And now this is some problems for Scarlett. Loses some of that momentum, of course. Oh, Pylon going to get focused down. No overcharge over there. Immortal on deck, but I don't think an Immortal's going to save you in this situation. Mothership Core still getting very, very low. Overcharge does pop off, but Natural Base slowly being chipped away at while this goes on. So Scarlett is going to eventually kill a Natural while she puts the pressure on. The Robo... Is the Queen damage enough to kill the Robo?
Maybe.
Before the Immortal spawns, I mean, if the Lings get on it, the Overcharge is gone. She's absolutely going to shut this down. There's not going to be an Immortal to fight with. Lings looking to come in that front door, but Stats did fully wall off.
Non-stop Lings and Overlords. That's all she really needs at this point. There's no overcharge rage rock and roll. She's been picking off pylons and probes and adepts and you name it, she's been having at it. Now finally he's able to come out with a few of these probes here and get us around on the Queens, but there are transfuses available. There's more Lings coming in.
Well, I'm actually wondering how big of a deal this actually is though, because Scarlett's mining has been phenomenal with a gold base behind this. So it's not like she's running out of money. She's not in any danger. Stats is the one who just lost out by losing probes and losing the mining. Front door gets broken while this goes on. Sorry, there wasn't enough emphasis over there. The Adepts get surrounded. Scarlett's Queen still getting scrappy, still getting dirty. They're focusing on top of the Adepts. Another Overlord was made to help transfer units up. Queen low and chilling. Looks like he might come out with the transfuse ready to go. Yep.
Oh man, I don't like to call it early, but it's looking pretty rough for Stats right now. He's got nothing left.
He knows what's up. Scarlett is going to go through to the finals. She's going to qualify through to the main event. GG's, get called.
GG.
Congratulations to Scarlett.
Congratulations, man. I didn't want to believe that Stats was going to lose so quickly right there, but he did.
Can we look? Okay, at this point, Scarlett has qualified through. Technically, tournament's over, but she's going to play one last best of 3 versus Innovation. But can we talk about how Scarlett's run today has been phenomenal? Like, this was the first map she dropped in the entire tournament. She 2-0'd Leonok. She 2-0'd Ryung. She 2-0'd Solar, and then just 2-1'd Stats. Stats, who was like, you know, BlizzCon semifinals, no big deal. Scarlett is looking phenomenal today. Like today, she is, for lack of a better word, like on fleek. All right. But man, we got the grand finals match coming up. I really want to stress both Scarlett and Innovation have absolutely qualified through. You'll see them come back for the main events. But now they're going to play one last best of 3 for $50. So yeah, a little bit of action. So stick around, guys. We'll be back with the grand finals after this break.